Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of First Canada Live, the show where we get together, talk robots, talk community, and everything that's happening out there. And boy, is there a lot going on right now. It is a busy time of year in the First community. So to get started, it's important as Canadians to recognize the land of which we are a part. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect upon the meaning of place, and in doing so, recognize the various traditional lands on which we celebrate today. We acknowledge the elders and youth, past, present, and emerging, of all land on which we work and live. We honor the ancestral spirits with gratitude and respect. We acknowledge this land out of respect for the Indigenous nations who have cared for Turtle Island, also called North America. The Indigenous people have been gifted the role of caretakers of this land long before the arrival of settler peoples until today. But most importantly, we must remember the history of these lands and people that have been tainted by poor treatment and a lack of friendship with the First Nations who called Canada home before it was given this name. This history is something that everyone is affected by. We are all treaty people in Canada. We all have a shared history to reflect upon, and each of us is affected by this history in different ways. Our past defines our present, but if we move forward as friends and allies, it does not define our future. All right, to get us started today, I'd like to welcome our co-host for today's show. She's coming straight out of her pit interviews. That's right, she was just doing a pit interview 15 minutes ago from FRC Team 771 and a member of the First Canada Youth Council and a recent district championship Dean's List semi-finalist. We have Zoe here. Hello, Zoe.
Hey everyone. Hi Karthik. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. First off, congratulations on Dean's List. That's really exciting. Can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
It was really funny actually. So like all the grade 11s and 12s of my team, since because of cohorting, we weren't allowed to mix with the younger grades, but we were all in like the same room and we had the award show on the big screen. And we won gracious professionalism. So everyone was like screaming about that, but we were all kind of anxious to see what happened with Dean's List because me and this other girl on my team, Senna, we were both nominated and we both like do a lot for the team and the community. And so everyone was really excited to see how that turned out. And then there's a photo of us right before it announced and you can like see both of us and we're both like that and we're both like staring at the screen and it's really funny. But yeah, they basically announced it and everyone on our team was like screaming and there was like lineups to hug us. So that was really cool. And we also didn't know that two people from the same team could win. So we assumed that when my name was announced, Senna didn't win, but then you announced her name too. So that was really cool.
Yeah, two people from the same team can win, as evidenced clearly, because you, Zoe, and her teammate Senna were the winners at Humber College. And so that is super exciting, super proud of you and your teammate, and excited for all the other Dean's List winners that'll be coming over the next few weeks. And, you know, yeah, there's just, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but congratulations again, Zoe. And for everyone in our audience, throughout the show, if you have any questions for us, please post them in chat. We'll try and answer them live on the air. And remember, we're here to have some fun and celebrate excellence in our community. So let's just be positive with all we're talking about. And Zoe, to get us started, as is the tradition on First Canada Live, the Youth Council brings forth a wellness moment because we can all use a little bit of wellness in our lives. And what are we talking about tonight?
So I know everyone's really stressed with school and everything, especially coming back after the March break and build season, competition season, everyone's super busy, but it's really important to kind of take time out of your day to make time for things you enjoy doing. So whether that's talking to friends, reading, watching your favorite movies or TV shows, or even doing the Wordle every day, just making sure that you make time for those things you enjoy because it can be really helpful. And it's also nice to just take breaks and do those things. So yeah.
I think everyone needs a little bit of me time in the day, you know, and it can be hard sometimes because if you get into that routine of, okay, it's like I go to school, I do robots after school, then I come home, I do homework, I go to bed, and then boom, it's school again. It's just like, it's the same every day. And, you know, if for those who are past school, you know, it's like you go to work and then you come home and you like make dinner and then you kind of like pass out. And it's like, ooh, that's you know, that's a lot if it's just that cycle. So it's good to make time. But speaking of movies and TV shows, can I tell you about a movie that I saw recently? Did you know that Disney Plus and Lucasfilm teamed up to make a documentary about First?
I have been trying to watch it, but I haven't had time. I really, really am hoping they have footage from 2019 Worlds and that my team is possibly in there for like half a second.
So
But
I took some me time on Saturday. I was like, you know what? I just need to watch this. I just really need to make some time to watch it. And it was so good, Zoe. Like it's hard because it focused on four teams, two from California. The two from California, like it was such a great story. It's there was a mentor on a team, and his wife was like, wow, my husband's really into this. Maybe I could start one at my school. So she started a team at her school and in like the inner city in Los Angeles in Watts. And so there was these two diverse teams, and they followed a team from Mexico as they worked on their chairman's submission. And they actually like focused on like the stress of trying to cram everything into 7 minutes of a chairman's presentation. You know, like it's so often like we talk with the chairman's word, that's the most important award first, but then they don't talk about it anymore. But like they focused on this the same sort of way they focused on teams working on their robots, which I thought was really cool. There was a team from Japan that was focused in, and there were lots of cameos of Canadian teams. I lost track of all of them, but I know I saw 610, I saw 1114, I saw 1241, I saw 1310, I saw 4001. So just there was a lot in there. There's probably more that I missed every time someone watches, because they use so much footage all the way going back to 2011, so like 10 years of footage. So yeah, definitely if you're out there, if you have a Disney Plus account, watch it, or find a friend with a Disney Plus account. So Zoe, like I think you definitely got to find time to make some time.
no, I definitely will. I've been looking forward to it. I watched the trailer a couple of days ago, but yeah.
Yeah, it made me really excited. And also like it's like, wow, I'm a part of that. We're a part of that, that program, that sense of community, the excitement, the energy. And now whenever my friends are like, so what exactly do you do all the time with robots? I'm just going to be like, watch this. This will explain it to you. So it was really cool. So if you're looking for a wellness moment, it's 90 minutes, totally well spent. Actually, it took me way longer than 90 minutes because I kept pausing it to like take screenshots and send it to people. It's like, look, I found you in here. And then it like actually took me 3 hours to watch it because I was texting so many people during it. It was fun.
I think this is the most important question. Karthik, are you in it at all?
I did not spot myself in it, Zoe. I looked and I didn't spot myself, but I spotted a bunch of my former teammates on 1114, the mentors and students there. And so, yeah, I saw lots of friends and stuff, but I didn't make it in there. So it's okay. I'll have to wait my turn to become a Lucasfilm or a Disney Plus star. But like, I figure Disney didn't put me in this, so they can put me in the next Avengers movie. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's totally it. Just like sign me up. Like, RDJ is gone, Iron Man's gone. He's going to pass the torch on to someone. And so what superhero could I play that they haven't introduced yet? All the X-Men are coming up. I could be Johnny Blaze from the Fantastic Four. I feel
like you have to be someone who's related to like robots though.
Okay, related to robots. Dr. Doom, he's kind of evil, but he has his robots, Latirian robots, the Doombots. He creates all of them. So there's that, but he is kind of evil, maybe like a little misunderstood evil, but he does take over the world a few times and tries to erase reality. So maybe I don't want to, but we could think about that. If you see it in chat, folks, you have one idea of what Marvel character I could play, let me know. It'd be good. That's a good one. So news updates, lots of things are happening. This week we've got a normal First Canada Live team focused or whatever, but the next 3 weeks it's award shows. And I mean, Zoe can tell you how important these award shows are to watch, because you never know what's going to happen. You might be a Dean's List finalist or something like that. So 3 weeks of award shows, which will be really, really fun to, on all those shows we'll be, doing a recap of the past events, watching some match video, and then handing out awards gazoo. So it's going to be great. And then after that, we'll have a wrap up of the provincial championship and then a wrap up of the world championship. So lots of things happening. It'll be good. And Zoe, did you hear the big news about provincials?
No, I don't think I did.
Well, this one is a big one because of the size of the number of teams in the province and the such this year. All teams in Ontario will be eligible to attend the Ontario Provincial Championship this year in Mississauga. So it is open to all teams who want to register.
I did not know that. I have to text my team after the show.
The news came out by our program, FRC program update on Friday, and then an additional update that came out on Monday, because there's a lot of grant money. And so now the original cost for the event was going to be $5,200 Canadian, but it's down to $2,950 thanks to various rebates from First Canada. So thank you to the board of directors for making that happen and to make this program a little bit more accessible for teams. But yeah, everyone can come to provincial. So if you're really stressed because you had a rough first district event, or even you're getting ready for Waterloo, York this weekend, it's like, oh, my robot's not quite ready. It's okay. You will qualify for provincials. The points still matter because the points will matter for advancement towards worlds and all those sorts of things. But hey, right now all teams can go to provincials. So Zoe, it was pretty cool that you didn't know this in advance because your face there like totally lit up. So that was great.
No, yeah, that's actually really exciting because I know a lot of me and my friends were talking about how we weren't sure if we were going to qualify and we really wanted to go. So
yeah, well, now you get to go. So it means you're playing this weekend in Waterloo, and then you got to get ready again for another one. It gives you more time to be like, okay, we can work on some more upgrades, more changes and everything. So yeah, we'll talk more about that, but provincial championship open for all. Hey, just a reminder out there, all lead mentors, you do need to fill out the registration form that was sent in that program update to register your intent to attend the event. And we do need a response by this Friday. So please fill that up because we need to figure out how many teams are coming so we can figure out how much pomp and circumstance to get there. And Zoe, you've been to a provincial championship before, right?
yes, I went in 2019.
And Zoe, did your team win the provincial championship in 2019?
We did. That's been a topic of discussion on whether we were going to be able to actually go back as defending champions.
Well,
but I guess we will now. So that's
as
exciting.
defending champions, you will get to go back, and that's really exciting because that was 2019 provincials was so much fun. What an event that was. And I can't wait to be back with all those teams, and stay tuned for more updates. And as we have them, we'll mention them on First Canada Live. Other things that are going on. The First Canada Indigenous Scholarship Award, the deadline's coming up. It is March 31st, which is only 10 days away. So get those applications in. A link will be dropping in the chat. And also, if you're not eligible, but you know someone who might be eligible as an Indigenous student in First, please let them know because we want to get as many people exposed to this opportunity. There's also, if you're looking for help, your team just needs to go somewhere to talk to other teams. The FRC Ontario Team Slack is available. It's for students and for mentors. So join the link that's being dropped in the chat right there. And that's a great place to catch up with other teams. And of course, the Team 1114 online help desk is available for teams who have questions about robot design or strategy scouting as you're getting ready for the season. Like right now would be a good time to ask those questions. So hop over to frchelpdesk.ca to check all of that out. So Zoe, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is you volunteered at the Humber College event, and I'd love to hear what your experience was like.
So it was actually really fun. I had never volunteered at an event before. I'd only gone to 4 events and they were all in my rookie year. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. I also am very, very non-technical focused. So I was doing field reset and I was like, I don't really know where everything is supposed to go. So it's all good. There was little like circles on the ground, so I knew where to put everything. But it was really fun. I also got to meet a lot of my like co-youth council members for the first time in person. So that was really cool. And yeah, it was really fun. I definitely recommend volunteering to anyone out there. If you didn't get to do it this year, you should definitely do it next year. It's a great experience and it's a great opportunity to meet other people in the First community as well.
Yeah, isn't it the best? It's just it's so much fun. It's energizing. And you know what? I think a lot of the events may be filled, but the provincial championship might be open right now. So if people are interested in volunteering for that one, although it sounds like everyone's teams is going. So it might be, it might be busy, but hey, it's a good time. So that'll be fun. And Zoe, the other thing is you weren't just volunteering there, but you were doing some social media stuff for the youth council, right?
Yeah, so I was helping running the TikTok account. So we did a couple interviews, different questions like what team has the best buttons and such. So if you want to be featured in the TikTok at Waterloo, I'll be volunteering there. If you want to be interviewed, come find me. I'll be doing field reset and I will happily interview you for it. So
will be fabulous and a lot of fun. And also, if people want to follow that TikTok account, Zoe, where do they go?
If you go into our Instagram, I believe it's linked in the bio, but if not, I can just say the username really quickly. I'm just gonna pull it up. It's at First Canada.
Nice and simple, at First Canada.
Yeah.
Follow that up there, and you can see a video of myself, First Canada President Dave Ellis, and Vice President of Partnerships Artie Very doing the robot. So that's totally embarrassing and all, but so we got to film some good stuff this week in Waterloo, because like it's Waterloo, so we've got to like take it to the next level. So are you ready for it?
I'm excited. Day 2 is going to be insane.
Yeah,
I really want there to be an alliance rejection that we can film and post, because I feel like that would be really entertaining.
I think we got to get a really good one of the water, Lou chant. Like we need to get some of that stuff in there. So I am super excited. We got events coming up, but you know what? We got a lot of cool teams that are coming on the show in just 1 minute. And we're going to do that right after a word from one of our sponsors, Boeing.
Second stage tanks now pressurized. 30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I had not seen that video before. And that was like, whoa, like the jets taking off, everything. I felt like I was in Top Gun right there. Ooh, oh boy, that was good. All right, first up on the show today, we would like to welcome a First Lego League Challenge team. They are team, oh, where are they? I can't find them. Team 8404, team not found from New Hamburg. We have their mentor, Ursula, and we have students Zoe, Chloe, Sadie, and Emily. Hello, team not found. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
I am in a great mood today. I'm in the robot zone, and you all were on the show last year, and you showed us some pretty cool things, and I am very excited to see what you have today, because I think you're going to be telling us about the top tips for teams to get to the Global Innovation Challenge. Is that what we're doing?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, how about you take it away then?
Hello, everyone. I am Emily, and this is Sadie, Zoe, and Chloe. We are members of 8404 Team Not Found from New Hamburg, Ontario. In the 2020 to 2021 replay season, we created the Actigo all-season and all-terrain sled to get kids more active. With the Actigo, we were able to make it all the way to the Global Innovation Awards, or the GIA, and we were one of the runners-up for first place.
Tonight, we figured it'd be helpful to talk about what happened at the GIA for teams who are going. So generally, there are workshops that experts in the field will present about pitching, branding, marketing, and other topics like that. As well, teams will get to collaborate with those professionals in a one-on-one setting, and they'll provide advice about how to further develop and improve their pitches and solutions. Teams will also get to meet with other teams around the world competing to share their projects, pitches, and create a sense of community through fun games.
Instead of presentations, teams present their pitches that follow a different rubric. It's not too different from the regular one that you would follow the rest of the season, but the main difference is that it focuses on the development of your product rather than just your idea. So the rubrics ask team to talk about costs, manufacturing options, target audience, and the impact of your solution. Here's our 2-minute pitch from the GIA so that you can see some of the points the judges are looking for.
Right, I think we're just bringing up that video. Here we go.
Hi, we're 8404 Team Not Found, creators of the Actigo all-terrain sled.
Kids being active is a huge issue. Only 39% of Canadian kids meet recommended physical guidelines, and in winter, activity declines by 27%.
So we created the Actigo sled that kids can use when there isn't enough snow for regular sledding. Our sled has a universal seat with interchangeable inserts. Our innovative grass insert uses large rollers for a fast and smooth ride with little impact on the grass. This insert works on lots of surfaces. The skis offer a high-performance sledding experience on snow. We're designing other types of inserts for different climates and terrain. Customers can choose from a variety of seat designs, such as 1 or 2-person options, and purchase the inserts that suit their needs.
Our target customers are parents or grandparents with kids aged 5 to 15 looking for healthy outdoor activities that kids can do by themselves or with family and friends.
While there are wheeled sleds for competitive dryland training, they're unsafe for kids and only work on paved surfaces and can be very expensive. Few specialty kids sleds on the market are designed for use on more than one surface. Our closest competitor works on snow and relies on melting ice to use friction on grass, but our sled works on all kinds of other surfaces, such as sand, pavement, or wood chips.
We've prototyped many different approaches to sledding on grass. We're currently working on our 7th prototype to reduce weight, cost, and improve performance. We've worked with engineers, an industrial designer, and a plastic thermoformer to refine our design, and a toy retailer to further understand the market. Testing with our target audience proved there is interest in a product like this. 85% of them said that they would buy the Actigo sled and it would make them more active.
For our next step in developing a consumer product, we need partners to help us optimize our final design for manufacturing, select materials, finalize parts, and ensure we comply with safety standards.
The Actigo sled will keep kids active in any terrain, in any season, or in any climate.
All right, so today, next, we're going to be talking about some of the things that we learned during not only our past season of competing, but all of our years altogether of competing. So without further ado, we present to you the top 15 tips for having a totally amazing innovation project and competing at the GIA. So, number 1, I know you've probably heard this a million times, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it anyway. Please do not rule out any crazy ideas. I'm not even kidding. This internationally recognized project was created by me saying that if we rode down hills on bricks of butter, we could go sledding on grass.
Number 2, always reach out to lots and lots of experts, like way more than you think. For example, we reached out to over 50 people and only 25 replied. And out of those people, approximately 13 experts gave us information that actually aided our project. We find it best to start this process early. Even if you don't have an exact solution yet, reaching out to experts in your general fields can be helpful research and guide your ideas.
Number 3, it's important to identify the target audience of your product early on. This way you can design a product with their needs, interests, and abilities in mind to create the best possible project.
Number 4, prototyping is the only way to find out if your solution will actually work. It doesn't need to be pretty or to scale as long as it reflects how you want your product to function. When presenting your product, you also want to be able to show the evolution of your design. So you'll want to show your brainstorming, your early designs, and how your prototype has changed over the course of the season. This is an example of one of our slides where we showed all of our sled prototypes from the oldest version to the newest version so that the judges could see the iterations we had done. This allows you to show the judges thoroughly you have researched and tested your product and that you're still striving to make the best solution possible.
Number 5. Getting your target audience to test out your solution is one of the best ways to improve your product. And something that we learned from talking to 2 entrepreneurs running their own startup company is that you always need way more testers than you think. It's a good rule of thumb to take the people you think you need and multiply it by 10. Although the jump from, say, 5 people to 50 is a little bit intimidating, it gives you the most accurate data and more feedback on your idea.
Number 6, never be afraid to pivot. This is something we also learned about talking to startup companies. Pivoting is when you completely change the solution you have, the way you approach your solution, or the way you execute your solution. You could pivot for obvious reasons, like it already exists or it doesn't really work. But the hard one to identify is that your market's not interested. Pivoting is tricky because it often happens in the middle of your project after you've put a lot of effort into it and you really want it to work. But sometimes you have to know when to strategically give up and try something new so you don't waste your time.
Number 7, although this is slightly different in a virtual setting, showing judges your documented research gives what you're saying credibility. Showing a chart or table with a quick summary of your research is an organized and easily understandable way to present your information. Making groupings or sections of information shows the depth of your research at a quick glance. For example, if you have a couple of resources that talk about the same topic, like advice from experts, group them together so the judges can see, oh look, they did a great amount of research from experts.
Number 8, In an online format, a lot of teams opt to use a slideshow as their visual aid, but please remember that the judges can only do one thing at a time. They will either read your slides or listen to what you're saying. So that is why you want to have less text on your slides so people will direct their attention to you and what you are saying. As well, you want to watch out for how you present your information. You want to be clear and concise when you're explaining something, and that your script sounds like you're talking so that it's easier for you to read. You want to ensure that you aren't spending too much time on one topic so that you can talk about other important things that you need to get done. And lastly, you want to talk at a good pace. The time constraint may make you want to talk faster, but you still want to be able to convey your information in a way that your judges can understand.
Number 9, if you remember anything from what we say today, please let it be the importance of using rubrics. Although non-rubric information is interesting and can sometimes be necessary, if you don't cover everything on the rubric, there is no way for you to move on to a higher competition. A strategy our team uses is dividing our script into sections that correspond with parts of the rubric. This ensures that judges can easily understand how we have met all of their criteria.
Number 10, the best kind of information you can tell a judge is either statistic, number, or chart. First of all, numbers are easier to remember and more impressive than rambling, but they're also a concrete fact that can't be denied and show you've put an effort to gather your own data.
Number 11, by the time you get to the GIA, it's important to research the feasibility of your idea, looking at manufacturing, materials, packaging, retailing, cost, safety, and anything else that is needed to make your solution a product.
Number 12, practice your presentation in front of a lot of people. It allows you to become more confident with the script, find missing information, and get comfortable talking in front of other people. Get your mentors, family members, experts you talk to, and others to listen to it. Give them the rubric so they can see if you talked about everything the judges are looking for. And at the end, always make sure to get feedback on how you can improve your presentation and act on it.
Number 13. Presenting to judges is possibly one of the most terrifying things that you will ever do in your whole entire life. So, to prepare you for that, before you get in the judging session, it's a good idea to plan out how your team is going to divide up answering questions. Whether it's a specific order or a subtle cue to tell your other team members who's answering a question, but really there's no best way to do it. So every team has to come up with their own strategy. When you are answering, it's okay if you accidentally talk over someone. Just make sure you're polite about it. Ask them if they want to go instead, say sorry, or thank them for letting you go. Make sure everyone gets a chance to answer questions, and don't always answer questions just related to your section for your project. This way, it shows that the whole team knows everything about their project. If you don't have the answer to a question, that's okay. Just make sure that you tell the judges how you will do it in the future.
Number 14, be prepared for a lot of work. It sounds obvious, but it's really hard to express how intense it is going to the GIA can be. Also, remember that you could be preparing for GIA while competing in other competitions that have different rubrics and expectations. We met for 10 straight months, September to July. And although we started the season by meeting twice a week for 2 hours, we ended the season by meeting every single day of the week for 3 whole hours.
Last but not least, number 15, the most important one of them all. Be proud of what you've achieved in your season. No matter where you go to or what you did, you have an amazing solution and you worked really hard to get there. So now that we've gone over everything that we wanted to talk about, if there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Before we even get to questions, I just want to say, it's so cool. Just not just that you came up with the sled, and we talked about the sled before, you've been on the show before, but that you came back to share your knowledge and your experience. And I think what you just did there is going to be an invaluable resource to our community for years to come. People are going to be able to look at this and say, wow, okay, we want to do global innovation. Okay, I know there's a YouTube video on First Canada from First Canada Live where we can learn about this. And so that was really cool. That's like leaving a legacy right there. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, we're short on time, but I know Zoe, you haven't met the team before. I'm wondering if you have a question for them. Anything under the sky?
I think what you guys have done is really cool. I just want to say that I remember when I was in FLL, we did nothing like this. I remember during my judges presentation popping out of a trash can with a squirrel tail on, and we sang the presentation. Anyway, what you did. You guys did amazing. So what do you think is your favorite part of the season so far?
So we aren't competing in the season this year because we're all too old to be competing, but I have to say my favorite part of last season was seeing how far our product came and how our skills developed over the season. So that was super incredible to see.
Well, you're not competing this season, I think you should take some of Zoe's advice. If there's an event you want to volunteer at or something, I think that'd be fantastic to stay engaged with the community and everything. Just tell people how cool this is. Thank you so much for being on the show. I think we could talk lots. And I think next time we talk Global Innovation Challenge, we could possibly bring some of you back again, just because I think there's so much that could be learned from your experience. And the sleigh is pretty cool. And by the way, I still need to ride it at some point. I'm not going to let this go. It's going to happen at some point. Like y'all might be like 30 and I might be like 80 at some point, and I'm going to be like, hey, can I like ride the sleigh? So, let's do this sometime. Team Not Found, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. It was really valuable. And Ursula, thank you so much for being a mentor in this program, because this program doesn't exist without mentors like you. So thanks so much. And we are going to be back with our next team in just after this video from our sponsors.
Bye.
What I value most about Lakeside and Lakeside's culture is the extracurricular activity or involvement that Lakeside has with organizations such as FIRST. Having a partnership with FIRST is really important to me because I part-time teach kids robotics, and I am an advocate for women in STEM and women in engineering, and kind of overcoming that, stigma or that appearance of what people in certain fields look like. And so the fact that Lakeside has an alliance with FIRST Robotics shows that it aligns their values with my values, and that's really important to me.
Zoe, before the next team gets here, we got to back up for a second, all right? You popped out of a trash can with a squirrel tail?
Yeah, okay, so our project was like a squirrel-proof trash can, and I had nothing to do with the presentation. I just like to say that. And they tried to hire Shawn Mendes to pop out of the trash can for us.
What?
But yeah, so I didn't really have much of the script, and I didn't want to sing the song, so they made me pop out of the trash can. They wheeled me in on the robot cart from our FRC team.
Yeah. How did Shawn Mendes get here?
So the original plan, because this girl on my team decided that we were going to sing the presentation pitch. No idea why, but we were like, oh, we can just hire Shawn Mendes and he can pop out of the trash can and sing it for us. But that obviously didn't happen, so I ended up being in the trash can, but I didn't have to sing. So
does someone know Shawn Mendes? Was it just going to be like, hey, Shawn, can you pop out of a trash can dressed as a squirrel for our grade 7 robot project?
Yeah, that was basically it.
This is the best ever. There could be a whole episode of story time dedicated to this. We're coming back to this, Zoe, at some point, okay. But that's great. Okay. All right. But we can't waste any time because we got a great team to come on the show right now. We got FRC team 3739 Oakbotics from London, Ontario with their mentor, Brian Wag. And we got students Jocelyn and Sam in the shop. How's it going, team?
Doing well. Good.
All right, Oakbotics. So I want to know, so a couple of weeks ago on First Canada Live, we showed a little teaser of your robot, pitch a photo, and then your team came to Humber, not for a little bit of a rough time at Humber, but it was still a lot of fun and a good experience and such. But can you tell us how your build season went?
It's been going pretty good. Currently we're actually building upstairs. Right now at the moment, we're working on electrical and I think the intake as well. Since the intake wasn't really working during the competition, one of the bearings, we had to switch out bushings for bearings. So that way the intake rollers would, I guess, roll easier. But other than that, we've been working really hard with the robot and trying to get it back on where we want it to be.
I'm sure it's going to get there in time for Windsor. And Brian, a question for you. Was there any like lessons learned from Humber that you want to share with other teams? Because I think so many teams, run into issues at competition and then they troubleshoot and solve them, but a lot of times it doesn't get shared, like the knowledge. So any advice that you have for teams who are going to their first event this weekend, possibly like York or Waterloo?
I'll be honest, biggest thing I can say, we have issues with it every year, and I see other teams having issues with it every year. Make sure your bumpers are good. Make sure they're ready to go. If they're not ready to go, you're gonna have a lot of problems getting through inspection there, and you're not going to be able to make your first match or your second match or your third match. And make sure your bumpers are good to go, and whatever you do, make sure you get it to as soon as you can. Make sure you can get on the field for at the least a connections test.
The connection test is a big one because that's where you just diagnose so much, and like you don't want to show up for match number one and then realize that you have your radio imaged incorrectly or something like that, and it's like, oh no. So yeah, get up for the connection test. That's a big one. So I hear we got an updated picture of the robot. Can we see Robotics' robot? Does robot have a name?
Robot does have a name. Sam, Jocelyn, what is it again?
Mantis.
Mantis. All right. And do you want to tell us a little bit about Mantis?
Yeah. So the reason it's named Mantis, as you could probably tell, is very tall, and then it has the nice intake there. And I really like the way we have our intake set up. It like the way it folds out instead of just dropping straight down. It has like a bit of a pivot system, which sort of complicated when building. Takes some time. That's about it.
Yeah, but we're working on that right now and trying to fix a few things with it. But other than that, it should be fine for Windsor, hopefully. We're actually really excited to see it working at Windsor for sure.
A lot of fun. Hey, Zoe, do you have any questions about the robot or about the team in general?
Yeah, well, I know build season's been a bit crazy this year, but do you guys how is your build season going? Did you guys have any favorite parts of build season or any highlights?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going. It didn't go too well previously because we had we were pretty tight right before Humber. We had it done, and then we ran into our issues when we were there. But this time, now that we know the issues, we've fixed them, hopefully. And after today, we'll be done all the mechanical and electrical, I believe, and then we can start troubleshooting, which will be nice.
Yeah. Just to add to that just a little bit, just in terms of actual being in build season and stuff like that, these guys, they're being pretty humble right now. What these guys have gone through this build season, and I'm sure other teams have seen it as well. We weren't able to meet in person for the first 3 to 4 weeks, and in that time period, we were actually told by our board to pull out completely, get a refund on everything, and no robotics this season. So these guys, they got told to cancel, they stopped everything, got told they could go back again, picked everything right up, right off the hop, jumped right back into stuff. And basically this robot got assembled over the course of about 2 weeks before Humber. It's been a heck of a ride, and these students have been amazing the entire way.
Oh, it definitely looks impressive. And, it's been, this season in Ontario has just been, teams have had to overcome so many obstacles. Zoe, you've lived through it, where it's you lose 3 weeks at the start and then you can't meet as regularly as you normally would. And then all of a sudden, your contact traced out for a week, or getting parts across the border is harder. Shipping is more expensive. Things are more expensive. It's been a challenge, and it's been so cool how many teams have risen to the challenge and what they've come up with. And so it's nice to see. I love the looks of that robot. A question on the intake. Were those Mecanum wheels you had there, were those 3D printed in-house?
Yeah, I believe so, actually. We have quite a few parts on our robot that are 3D printed, like a bunch of spacers and Mecanum wheels and the pulleys on the actual intake system and stuff like that.
Very cool. So does Oak Ridge have 3D printers in school, or do you use a shop, or how does that work?
I think it's just people at home have them, right?
Oh yeah?
How many 3D printers here, but I know a few parents and mentors have helped with the 3D printing things, so it's been a really big help for sure.
Brian, you totally have a 3D printer at home, don't you? You seem like a dude who has one at home.
I got a 3D printer, laser cutters, yeah, you name it, I got it.
Some people have a type, and Brian's type is lots of gadgets. I can see that. That's
red-handed. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome for all of that. So, you said you're excited for Windsor. That one's coming up. Have you made any like big changes to the robot since Humber, aside from like general maintenance and upgrades, but like anything like dramatic?
Not that I know of. I know that we've just been trying to keep like under the weight limit almost, because we have quite a few things on the robot that we're trying to manage with like the weight and everything and the weight limits. But other than that, I don't think there's really many changes.
Well, there was the one minor, like, pretty big issue of we were overweight at Humber, and so we had to pull our climber. With any luck, our traversal climber should be making a debut at Windsor.
Oh, well, that's exciting. That's something to look forward to for Windsor. What type of traversal climber is it? What kind of style are we doing here? Are we doing like monkey bar style or windmill style?
Monkey bar style.
Nice.
I guess that'd be the word for it.
Yeah, I just kind of, I don't know if everyone calls it that. I call it that. It's like, you go like one hand over another, like you're on the monkey bars. And then the windmill is the one that like spins around, and it goes. And then there's like, I guess there's like one drive up the truss hanger, although there's probably more out there. It's neat to see all that. And it's really cool that you have to adapt at Humber and take the climber off, but are able to get it back on and, fight with that 125-pound weight limit. And so
5 more pounds, just 5 more.
5 more pounds. Because they did do 5 more pounds a few years ago, because it went from 120 to 125. And it's
every year.
Every year. Like, I think it should be the surprise 5 pounds. You don't find out about it until your first event, and then it's like, oh, okay, I feel better now. But it's weight is always a challenge. We'll wrap it up here. Zoe, anything else you want to ask the team before they go?
Yeah, I guess, do you guys have a favorite part of your robot or function? Yeah.
Not that we've like seen it yet, like in action, but climbing. Like, I'm very excited to see our robot climb. Like, I think that's the coolest thing a robot can do.
Yeah, so. I personally like the intake the most, but I'm definitely way more excited to see it actually climb, like get off the ground and stuff like that. But yeah, for sure.
It's always a special moment the first time the climb happens, especially if you've like really like struggled with it at points or whatever. The first time it's like, oh my goodness, it's just like, yeah, we did that. And especially this climb, because it's so dramatic too, like especially traversal to go, like I'm sure
like, knock into the board.
I'm sure we will hear you loud and clear at Windsor the first time that it gets up there. So we're really excited for that. Hey, Robotics, thank you so much for coming on the show. Great show at Humber. Looking forward to seeing the robot at Windsor and hopefully at the provincial championship. So it's going to be good. Thanks so much, Robotics.
Thanks for having us, guys. Cheers.
And we will be back with our next team in just a couple seconds. Hey, Zoe, I got to backtrack again for a second. Were you going to make Shawn Mendes wear the squirrel tail?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay. All right. Just need to get all these details sorted in my head. We might come back to this again, but we'll see. All right. Next up, we got a team here from York, Ontario. It's team 6397, Romero Robotics. They competed both days at Humber College. Semi-finalists, did a great job. And on the show, we've got their mentor, Marlon. Hey, Marlon, good to see you. Hello, and we also have Ryan, Tiago, Rosemary, Nardos, Emily N, Emily S, and Jeremy. How's it going, folks?
Good. We're excited to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on the show. First off, great performance at Humber. It was really great to see a team on both days there, repping hard, doing cool stuff. And, also, I love the team shirt. I love the number up there high. It's like, yeah, you see that right there. That's like a boom right there. Like, boom, you're looking for this. No, it's good. You all built the EveryBot, which is super exciting. Back in January, we had the designers of the EveryBot, our friends from NASA, on the show, Jenna, Ryan, Ethan. And, it was really exciting to see all that. And it was really cool to see the EveryBot in person. So what made you choose to go with the EveryBot?
So I'm going to just take on this first question, and the students will take on the rest. It was really our mentor decision to do that. And it really came down to a time constraint because we did lose the whole month of January. And so we were quite worried that we weren't going to be able to produce anything. And so when I looked into the research of it, We looked at the strategies that they had designed the robot to compete and to gain points for, and we just aligned with that strategy and just liked the design. And so, yeah, we decided to go for it. We'd never done that before. So we said, let's give it a try. And since we only had really those 4 or 5 weeks to build, it made things a little bit easier for us.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out well. And so, for the students, I want to know, like, so how long did it take to build? Because I mean, you lost all of January. That's, traditionally like the 2/3 of the season.
Right.
Anyone want to take that question on how long it took to build?
Oh, yes. Apologies.
That's okay, Jeremy.
All right. As a rookie team, it took us about 4 to 5 weeks to build and code, Monday to Fridays, as well with some occasional Saturdays and Sundays. Even though we started our build of the robot this year, our programmers began creating the code last year in November on a spare chassis we had from past tournaments.
Very cool, and amazing that you were able to turn out a competitive functional robot in that short of a time. That's fantastic, right, Zoe?
Yeah, I remember watching you guys at Humber. Also, a huge congrats again on being a semifinalist. That's amazing.
Yeah, we were pretty excited. That was our first time getting to the finals. So
yeah, that's pretty fantastic to walk away with some hardware from that event. Zoe, do you have any questions for the team?
Yeah, so I know you guys said you had a really shortened build season last January. How long did it take you guys to build your robot with all the mechanisms and everything?
I think they just kind of said that it took about 4 to 5 weeks on that one or whatever. That's okay. You and I are like we're like brain melded together, Zoe. We're like asking the same questions or anything like that. But I guess the next question I want to ask is, did you make any like changes or I guess actually I'm going to save that question for a second. Maybe Zoe, you can take that question in a second. But I want to know, are you happy that you went with the Everybot? Do you think it was a good decision?
Yeah, we're happy with our decision going on the Everybot, since most of us, considering most of us going into this were beginners, like most of our team has no experience building robots. So I think it was a good choice starting off with it. We learned a lot of stuff. And thanks to the Everybot, we actually made it to like the semifinals on the Humber Day 2 event and got picked for alliances. It's actually the farthest our team has ever gone, which is pretty impressive. And we also made our own minor changes, which another team member will talk about. It will, I think those were good decisions because it will help us improve and advance further. And yeah, we can't wait to see how much further we can go, and overall great decisions made by the team.
Right. And hey, you know what? I think we have a picture of the robot. So let's take a look at that so everyone can see what y'all did there. Look at that. That's so clean, elegant. Love it. That is a nice robot right there. And Zoe, did you want to ask a question about changes and upgrades maybe?
Yeah, so I guess, Emily, you mentioned that you guys made some changes to Everybot or some upgrades. What were those changes and kind of why did you guys decide to make those changes?
Hi. Yeah, we made some changes. We didn't go too crazy from the plan we got. With our climbing forks that were meant to climb the bars, we couldn't exactly latch onto the bars perfectly. So throughout the competition, we kept shaving them down, trying to get the right angle to slide on perfectly to the bars. We used our CNCs to cut them, jigsaws. And, we didn't get it exactly right, but we are working on it currently. And we're also tinkering with the intake, changing the angles to help it go into the hubs smoother. Right now we're aiming for the lower hub, and we're trying to change the angle of our intake so that instead of like bouncing off, it shoots directly into the hub. And we also had to fix little glitches, well, not glitches, just some inconveniences, such as the button on our robot, which turned it on and off, kept getting hit by cargo, which was very unfortunate. Actually, it was a very small button, but it kept managing to get hit, twice actually in the same spot. So we had a little metal plate to cover it and protect it from the cargo, which actually worked really great, considering it probably would happen a lot more times. And also sometimes the cargo will get stuck under our arm, which would stop it from going down and picking up more cargo. So we're working on a solution for that right now. And we're also trying to improve our autonomous mode right now, because at the moment we're just moving around, but we're trying to have our robot shoot during autonomous mode to get additional scoring points. And fingers crossed, coders will make that happen.
Yeah.
And with our climber, we've also decided to try the Andy Marks climber in a box climber as opposed to the Everybot climber, just to see if that will give us a better chance to actually latch onto the bars. We're building that currently at our school, after school, every day. You know, we work really hard. And yeah, other than that, little minor things such as the battery, zip tying it shut every time, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cut and dry.
That sounds really cool. And hey, I hear we have a little bit of a video of your robot. So let's take a look at the robot in action. Yeah. Do that a few times a match, you're going to be on an alliance for sure.
Yeah.
That is a really nice there to see and everything. And so let's talk, we've got a couple minutes here, so let's talk strategy a little bit. I hear you have some strategy talk you want to show off to us?
Sorry, say again, Karthik?
I heard, yeah, yes, you're going to talk a little bit about your robot strategy.
Yeah, so when we looked at the Everybot design, we wanted to make sure that we could score by hitting the lower bar and mid bars and shooting into the lower tiered receptors there. And then play some defense as well. I think we had about a minute saved for in the match to play some defense. So we really beefed up the bumpers a little bit to help with that. But we learned the hard way that you have to play defense with our intake up, as we got a few penalties on the very first few games. And then we had our intake break completely or just get stuck. So we had no choice but to back off and not play any defense at all. So we're learning. And we did have 2 straight days of competitions, the Saturday and Sunday. So the robot did take a big beating at the end of the day on Sunday. So we're in the middle of rebuilding because we are going to York University this weekend.
This weekend, that's right. You know, it just never stops. Which day at York is that? Day 1, day 2?
Sunday, I believe.
Sunday. So that'll be a good one there. And you know, before we wrap up here, what was your favorite part of the Everybot?
I can definitely say the intake was pretty much our favorite part, as how it really got abused during the competition and survived through all the pain. You know, it's really good that we can have our 2 payloads on our intake system. It just allows us to like double score every single time. It's like crazy, even though after all the beating, we could still do such a thing. I do love the fact that like the intake system is just like fast and winning, like goes up and down, and just like smoothness, because you can really feel, because before with all the beating we did have, it was a bit hard. Our intake sometimes got stuck and everything, but I could feel that it was a smooth transaction of doing just picking up the balls. Also, it's really good, and just, you know, keep double scoring on those double payloads and getting those points. And at some point when the intake broke, is just full on defense, and it worked for us.
No, the defense was great. Your driver, one of you the driver? Any of you the driver?
Yeah, I was the driver.
You were the driver, Tiago,
Yes.
man. You drove that robot. You drove that robot.
I gotta take my gaming experience. That's really the point. It's my gaming experience.
Yeah, it was like, okay, like, you know, like you were playing defense on some of the best teams, sometimes 2200, you know, and like you were really getting right in there. So it was really impressive to see, especially once you started playing defense with the intake up.
Yeah,
that was money. So hopefully we see some of that in York, as you said. Hey, Romero, thank you so much for coming on the show. Congratulations on a great performance at Humber, and we're looking forward to more exciting performances at York and maybe the provincial championship. So thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
And
Thank
folks,
you for having us.
Thank you.
Of course, we'll be back with our next team in just a couple seconds. Okay, so we're going to backtrack again here. How big was this can that Shawn Mendes was going to fit in?
It was okay. So it was like supposed to be a trash can, but it was actually like a big box that we had like painted silver.
Okay, so like, well, so he would have fit in the box. He would have been fine in there.
He would have had to like sit down while we were like wheeling him in, but then he could have just.
Okay, because you're gonna wheel Shawn Mendes in there or whatever. Okay, all right. Maybe we'll. I'm really focused on this. This is the thing. But hey, we got another team here. One of our favorites, folks. It is Team 1305 Ice Cube from North Bay, Ontario, with their mentor who is defined. I got the sheet here, Brian. It says you are the best mentor, Brian Kelso. Sorry, Heather Kelso.
I don't know who wrote that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Heather Kelso's not the best anymore. We got team captain and all around awesome. I agree with that sentiment. Michelle is here and Mr. Handsome in the background. Welcome, welcome. Michelle, also a member of the First Canada Youth Council. And Corbin, you don't get a cool intro. You're just build member and drive team, which I guess is pretty cool. But Corbin, hey, welcome to the show, folks.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm excited to talk about this because I heard that your robot's name is Yeti. So someone want to tell me what that's about?
Yes, I would love to. So every year, we like to name our robot after elements on the periodic table. And since this is our 22nd year as a team, we're going after the 22nd element, which is titanium. So it is Yeti, T-I, titanium, which that's the atomic symbol for titanium. And, we're ice cubed, so, we like to keep it cool. And that adds into the Yeti theme as well.
When you started there, Michelle, it's like, like name our robots at the periodic table. There was no Yeti on the periodic table. It's been a long time since I took chemistry, but I know that, so the abominable snowman's not right there.
There also has been a lot of real life Yeti sightings in the North Bay and surrounding area in the past few months.
I've heard we got some video footage we're going to look at in a little bit. So I have heard about the Yeti sightings. So it's
a little scary. It might be a little scary for the young kids, but I'm sure they can handle it.
Oh, I might be scared too, because like already we've talked about squirrels jumping out of garbage cans and Sean Desmond. So, with the Yeti now, it's going to be interesting. Sorry, not Michelle. Zoe, do you got any questions for the team?
Yeah. So did you guys do anything different about your build strategy this year? And if so, like what was it and how did it work?
Well, the main thing was because of COVID, we had less people in the build room. We had less resources. So we had to tone it down a little bit. We went with a simpler design. We used a kit lot today, not today, this year. So that worked out pretty decently, I'd say. We also used a off-the-shelf climb, but we added, I don't know if you can see it here. We added 2 hooks to make it a traversal climb. So we can climb multiple rungs. Yeah, I'd say just with the 5 people maximum in the build room, kind of set us back a little bit, but we're still trying.
Well, I mean, looking at that robot, from what I can see, it's looking pretty impressive. And how I really like how you used a lot of off-the-shelf parts between the kitbot and the off-the-shelf climber, but then still was able to turn it into a traversal climb. And honestly, looks like one of the simplest, just most effective traversal climbs I've seen. A lot of them are like a little bit gangly, and this one is like very elegant. So that's super cool. Corbin, you talked about some challenges your team's experienced, but what do you think the biggest challenge was this year for Corbin or for Michelle?
Go ahead, Corbin.
All right. I would say the biggest challenge was definitely the COVID restrictions. Like I mentioned earlier, it was just hard to find the time to throw everything together with only 5 people at a time. And luckily, Canador is letting us use the build room again. But it is a little difficult with only 5 people at a time.
Yeah, it's different. It takes some getting used to, right, Michelle?
Yes, definitely. So that's, here I am at home, just keeping the COVID restrictions. But I think that's also, something good is that even though we're all separated by, vast distances, we can still all be here together. And that has been true for a lot of our team this year, where some people are in person, but then others are being phoned in or Zoomed in at the same time. So, it's kind of a a good thing as well, since we do have some members that live kind of far out. So if it's for like an informational meeting, then they don't have to, come all the way in.
All right. Well, I think it's time that we take a look at this robot. So I think let's meet Yeti.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my sensor light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yep, it's gonna chase it. So whatever it was standing out. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
And then that's too bad. We lost the sound.
Yeah, you can still have a little bit of your face. We just need to see the Yeti face. Okay, go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Because we've already got Zoe jumping over trash cans, and then who was in the Yeti costume? Michelle.
Yeah, it was me.
Yep. 100%.
I mean, it was a real Yeti. It was real.
I'm sorry. Michelle, have you met that Yeti before? Sorry.
Yes, and the Yeti was very good looking, I think.
Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So we may allegedly have a Yeti that looks like Michelle and a squirrel that looks like Zoe. That's what we've determined from the show so far. Okay. I love this robot. I've always been a fan of your robots, especially over the last few years, the few seasons, but this one is just, it's elegant. There's so much functionality packaged into so much simplicity. That is really neat to see. I'm a big fan. Zoe, what do you think?
I personally really love when robots have like the little LED lights because I think it looks so cool. So I love how your robot was like all lit up and like was like really cool and like doing everything while still looking like pretty. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So the Yeti, I know like they're a mysterious creature, they hide and stuff like that. Will the Yeti be coming to the provincial championship? Because I would like to meet a Yeti.
Yes, we are definitely. We're going to York, North Bay, and we're hoping to be definitely going to be at the provincials.
Oh no, I know the robot's coming, Brian. I'm talking about the actual Yeti.
Yes, it's actually a known fact that if any of those competitions, if we make it to finals, the driver will be dressed like a Yeti.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, love all this, but hey, so we've had this ongoing thing for the past year and a bit. Michelle, you've been on the youth council. We've talked about this a lot on this show when you've co-hosted. You've never been to an FRC event. It's finally happening this weekend. How excited are you?
I am so excited. I am beyond excited. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep like all of this week. And, it's going to be so great to, see everyone in person, get to, hopefully meet some new people and get to experience it in real life.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Michelle can dance.
Can you, Michelle?
I think we'll have to see.
All right. Yeah. We'll have to, I won't be at York or North Bay, but I will be at provincials. I will be calling that out on the microphone. So we'll make sure that this happens. Hey, 1305, In addition to building awesome robots, you have been a leader in the community for decades up here in Ontario. I'm wondering, anything cool you've been working on over the last year that you want to share it with in your community?
Sure. One of the new projects we are really excited about is at the North Bay Public Library. We are starting a bit of a library learning lounge where people can come into this room that is in the library and learn about FIRST, learn about our team. We're planning to have an FLL table in there for during the FLL season, and just get some FIRST at our library.
That's very
and STEM
cool.
STEM themed learning as well. Like computers that can CAD and stuff like that.
I love the idea of having the FLL table set up there. I think that's just going to be, kids will see it and be like, oh yeah, I want to do this or whatever. And then you'll be like, yeah, and you can do FLL, and then you can dress up as a squirrel and jump out of a can. Like, it's just going to be, it's going to be perfect there. That's really, really cool. Zoe, any final questions for the team?
Yeah, I guess so. We saw you guys doing like the high shooting and the climbing. What is kind of your strategy for this game, or what's your approach to the game this year?
So we're mostly going to try and score. We built a pretty quick robot that will hopefully be able to avoid defense. So our plan is just zip around, pick up balls, shoot them in the top goal, and then hopefully get a nice traversal climb at the end.
Sounds like a good plan to me. It sounds like all the ingredients are there. Competing this week at York, which we'll be talking about in a second. And then both days, North Bay is a single day this year. So North Bay and then provincials, right?
Yep.
Sounds like a great roster. Very excited to see it. So am I. I can't wait to watch this on the webcast and see it in person.
We're really looking forward to in-person competitions and seeing everybody again. So we can't wait till this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy the trip down to Toronto. Enjoy the time at York. It's going to be a blast. And hey, folks, we're going to be back talking about Waterloo and York in just a few seconds. Okay, when the Yeti just slayed me, absolutely slayed me. This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. All right, it is time to be talking about the events that are happening this weekend. And hey, if you want to watch the events this weekend, you can stream them on this very Twitch channel. Also, there'll be event-specific feeds on First Ontario 1, First Ontario 2, First Ontario 3, First Ontario 4. So you're going to want to check all of that out. But we're going to talk Waterloo first. So let's take a look at our teams for Waterloo Day 1. Zoe, your team's there 7-7-1 because you were just doing your pit interview. And we got some other big teams at this one because we got Team 610, winners of Humber Day 1, Team 2386, finalists Humber Day 1, 4476, the Waffles, they are back with their strong swerve drive from Humber. Team 3683, Team Dave, who are the back-to-back defending Waterloo champions. So that's kind of a big deal there. They're going to try and defend that crown that they haven't had a chance to because of the pandemic. It's kind of weird, Zoe, because we're going to be talking about a lot of teams this season as like defending champions, but it's like we're talking like to 3 years ago. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, it is a bit weird, but it's kind of funny because a lot of people, I feel like you don't realize you're defending champions because it's been so long, but like if you won in 2019, you are, or 2020 for some people.
Well, yeah, but like provincial champion, like 7-7-1 defending provincial champions. And it's it's interesting one. 4678, the Cyber Cabs. Oh, that's gonna be a fun one because they always do really innovative things with their arms, multi-joints, turrets, LiDAR. I'm curious to see what they've come up with. And then Team 2609 Beaverworks, they were on First Canada Live a few weeks ago, showed off a very functional robot. So excited to see that. And hey, I love to see this. 2 rookie teams at the event, Sparkling H2O from Canada and the Lost Sockets from Dorchester. Also, we got some reveal videos that we're going to show off. So our first reveal video is from Team 4903, the Vincent Massey Mustangs from Windsor. So let's take a look. And so the Mustangs been a strong team. They qualified for Worlds in 2018 and 2019. 60 students on this team. And This year they had to like start from the beginning because they had so many students who left and graduated, and so they were like starting all over again. So we can take a look at this robot right here. Really effective. They focused on simplicity, low hub, low levels of automation, mechanical solutions to solve game tasks. So let's just take a look and enjoy. I love the color scheme on that, the orange and blue. You a fan of that, Zoe?
Yeah, I love the colorful robots.
Yeah.
So definitely one of the coolest looking ones.
Yeah, and like I really like that, that every bot's style kind of like intake is the scoring mechanism, so it's all in one. It's not like there's a transfer going on. So that always simplifies things. Oh, we got a traversal climb on this robot. Let's take a look. Okay, smooth up to the first level. Let's see, are there fixed hooks? Here come the fixed hooks. Oh, carabiner style. It's like a little bit of
That's
spins.
cool. I like that.
Yeah. So then it's going to rotate off now. There we go. And it goes back up, and you don't have to track the position because it's automatically going to get there within 120 degrees. And up again. That was nice. That was really
like
nice.
professional looking, like really smooth.
Oh, that's going to be effective at Waterloo. That is going to be effective. Waterloo Day 1, Windsor, and beyond. If you have a consistent traversal climb, you are making the elimination rounds. Maybe like at Worlds, we'll see some who don't, because like there's more traversal climbs than I expected. Did you know that in weeks 1 and 2, Zoe, 30% of the teams in first completed a traversal climb?
That is insane.
That is so impressive.
Like, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I was just like not expecting that. But we saw the teams who were able to traverse at Humber, like they all went far, and like those locking in 15 points and then being able to do stuff on the ground. So like think of that. If you think about what their match would look like, 4903, they're gonna do some low hub cycles early. They have some time to play some defense in between and like kind of alternate back and forth, and they can go back with about 20 seconds left, and then boom, level 1, level 2, level 3, the pinwheel spins. They're up there. Hey, great job, 4903. We also have another reveal video to show, and this is more like a teaser video, but we talked about our two-time Waterloo defending champions, Team 3683, Team Dave.
We have been separated, isolated, distanced. We have been challenged to sit tight. But that's not who we are. The doors have reopened. We haven't given up. This isn't just about assembling nuts and bolts. It's about the opportunity to connect, create, and inspire. We join together in the freedom of our minds, a safe space where all ideas and opinions are accepted, a place for us to learn to our fullest potential, to build the parts and skills of our future. Lifetime bonds are formed. Through trials and tribulations, we become stronger. This is who we are.
Okay, that video gave me chills. That was special. Thank you to Team Dave and Jake Durr for creating that awesome video like that. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this. That is fantastic to see. So we'll be seeing them Waterloo Day 1, all that stuff happening Waterloo Day 1. Zoe, are you pumped for Waterloo Day 1?
I'm so excited. Day 1 and Day 2, there's like all the best teams in Ontario, or like most of them are going.
We're gonna get to Day 2. We're gonna get to Day 2, but I'm sorry. I have to apologize to everyone because we're talking about Waterloo and we haven't done it. Hey, water, water, water.
Lulu.
Yeah, that's how we do. That's how we do. We're going to be doing that so much. It's been 3 years since I've done a good water, 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 Lulu, and I'm going to lose it out there when we get back on the field. Oh, the chat's doing it too. Love it. Love it. Okay. Waterloo Day 2, folks, get your popcorn ready. Let's take a look at the team list here. And let's start off by recognizing that there are 8 former Einstein teams on this list. 610, 781, 1114, 5 times, 1241, 3 times, 2056, 6 times, 4678, 4917, and most recent Einstein, 5406. There are 3 past world champions on the list, teams 610, 1114, and 1241. There are our defending world finalists for the Detroit Championship, Team 5406, Celtex. 5 provincial champions, including 2 defending provincial champions. We got 610, 1114, and 1241, who are defending along with Zoe's team, 2056 and 6875. The 2 of the top 3 Blue Banner teams of all time across first. Oh yeah, they're both at this event. 1114 with 52 blue banners. That is ridiculous. 2056 with 48 of their own. An average of 11 blue banners per team at this event. An average of 11. And you're thinking, okay, well, that's all the past. Karthik, you're just talking about old stuff. No, because Team 2200 is Humber Day 1 and Day 2 champs coming into this event. Team 610, Humber Day 1 champs. Team 4015, Humber Day 1 champs. 4907, a blue banner winner in last year's online challenges. And hey, we didn't mention Canada's only Hall of Fame team at the event, Team 1114. This event is stacked. 4678, 4476. Who else is a double from, because there's some Day 1, Day 2 teams there. It's just completely wild. We haven't talked about 77 who?
772.
Yeah, like this list is phenomenal. 4069 is at both days. This is only 12 of these teams can make the elimination rounds. That in itself is going to be a challenge to think about. This is everything. This is so cool. This is why, it's been so long since we've done robots, and this is why. This is the excitement. This is the hype and everything like this. This is going to be a really, really fun one. I mean, all these events are fun. There's no doubt about it, and it's just, there's different stories with every event. And this one just presents some deep history. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I don't know, Zoe, what are you looking forward to most about Waterloo Day 2?
Honestly, I did not realize what the competition was going to be like at all. I just signed up to volunteer back in January. And then last week I was looking at the list and I was like, this is going to be a lot more exciting than I was anticipating. There's I don't think there was a single team there that I didn't recognize the number for.
Every match is just going to be it's like, oh yeah, there's 2200. They won 2 events already this season. It's like, oh, there's 2056. They've only lost 4 events in their team's history. It's like, oh, hey, there's 1241, world champion. Oh, hey, 4015. They won day 1, it's like 8081. They're here from Leeds. It's just there's just so much coolness happening there. Celtex. This is the first time we're seeing Celtex because they didn't play at all in 2020. So their last time we saw Celtex at an official event was the finals of Detroit Championship in 2019. And
yeah, I remember watching that match, the Einstein, when they were competing.
The 1 point, and this we haven't seen them. We haven't seen Team 2056 in 3 years. We saw their robot. They unveiled it in 2020. It was phenomenal. Probably the best team in the world in 2020, but they never got to play an event. I'm not even kidding. That robot they pioneered shooting on the run before it was a thing. Now everyone's doing, well, not everyone, Orbit's doing it, but all these teams, it's the resurgence, the rebirth. It's going to be so much fun. I am so excited. And one of the teams that's there for both days, Team 4476, the Waffles. We talked about them a little bit earlier. We got their reveal video to look at. So just another team on this Waterloo list. Let's take a look at the Waffles. And we'll stay on. We can talk over this one, Zoe, as we watch it happen. And so we saw Waffles at Humber, and they were just swerving around the field. had a really great semifinal matchup against 1241 and 4976, them and their partner 7480. That was like a Kingston alliance. And then this was cool stuff. Look at that. Speaking of Kingston right there.
I love watching robots with the swerve drivetrain. It's like so satisfying how they just like go around so smoothly.
It is special. It's interesting because honestly, Swerve Drive is part of what got me hooked in first. Back in my first ever event, I remember went to an event in Michigan. I had no idea that a Swerve Drive existed, and then I see this robot. It was Team 47 at the time, and they went sideways. I was like, wait a second, that robot just went sideways. What? How is that even possible? I didn't understand. And I just wanted to learn. It got me hooked here. But let's watch the waffles more. And there he goes. You see that smooth side to side movement.
I also love how the robot kind of looks like a waffle with like the yellow things with like the little
Yeah. You could definitely like pour some syrup in there. You got to try and get the butter in the grooves and all. It's like it's a little bit of an Eggo there. Do you watch Stranger Things, Zoe?
I watched it a while ago. Is there a fourth season coming out?
There is a fourth season coming out in May. And so I binged the first 3 seasons in February. And so like I am now super hooked. So I'm ready to talk Stranger Things with anyone out there. Just want to say that Justin and Steve, best combo.
They are the best duo.
Absolutely my favorites. That little bromance, mentorship, big brother, little brother thing going on there is super, super great. I felt bad for Steve when his
Nancy,
thank you. When Nancy dumped him, I felt bad, but he landed on his feet. He's got Dustin now and as a BFF, so that's pretty good. And Nancy was better off with I'm forgetting everyone's name now, so I'm not doing a good job talking about this. Hey, let's talk about the waffles again. I mean, this robot, the autonomous, the smooth driving, and then, by the way, traversal climb as well, and so really looking forward to seeing them do this consistently throughout the weekend. It's like, what are these alliances going to look like? We could have traversal bots being picked in the second round as a distinct possibility. Hey, by the way, the Waffles have this really cool initiative where every year they work to find stem cell donors for a recipient in their community. And so take a look at their video. It's being dropped into chat. So take a look there and you can learn more about their program there. And it's really, really cool and good to see. But we talked enough about Waterloo, and guess what? There's more events going on because we got the York event. And hey, I see it in chat there. Hey, Thomas, if you could get a screenshot of where you saw me in the More Than Robots, because I watched the whole thing and I didn't see myself. So yeah, please shoot that my way. I'd be curious to see, because then maybe I wasn't there, but I guess that means I don't get to be in a Marvel movie. Wow.
I'm sure you can just say you weren't in it and like pretend you weren't in it.
Yeah. Well, I think we just got to figure out the character and all. But thank you, Thomas. You're a champion once again. All right, time York Day 1, and this event is a lot of fun. Look at these teams out there. Team 5036. I want to talk about them. The Robo Devils out of Scarborough, my neck of the woods. They built an Everybot, but they were finished really early, and they got a lot of practice in. I saw in the team support Slack that they linked up with Team 7480 and so checked out their practice fields. So that is a team to watch. Team 4039, Makeshift Robotics. Folks, this is one of our leaders both on and off the field. They always do creative things, so I'm curious to see what they're going to have up. Teams 865, 914, 1360, 3560, 7480 were all semifinalists at Humber, either on day 1 or day 2. So that's going to be interesting to see. 7480 especially, another one of those swerve drive robots. And swerve drive is one of those things where the more lots of things are like this, but especially with swerve drives, the more you drive it, the more you can get out of it. So I'm really curious to see these swerve teams at their second event. So the Waffles, Waterloo, Machine Mavericks, York. And hey, Thunder Robotics, team 8764, rookie team, already won the Rookie All-Star Award. So that's going to be exciting to see them, a rookie team in their second event, to see how they react, how they upgrade. Team 6135, Arctos, TDSB, cool stuff. Merge Robotics, coming all the way from Canada. They've been doing some really cool things for the last couple of years. So we're going to be seeing some great teams on York Day 1. I am super excited for that event. And I also think that one's the last couple of years, York has been wide open, where there's been surprise number 1 seeds, surprise winners. I know team 6140 was the number 1 seed last time with an everybot, York in 2019. So hey, 5036, maybe there's something happening there. And then York Day 2. We got some good stuff happening. We got team 5409, Humber Day 2 champions. That was a really cool robot. They paired up with team 2200, and that was that black and yellow machine. Really good to see. We got a couple Humber finalists, team 5032 and 6397, Romero Robotics. We just saw them, so they talked about some of their upgrades. So trying to go from finalist to winner. 4976, also a finalist, Humber Day 2, with their consistent traversal hang, which we saw. So that is going to be interesting. 1305, the Yeti is coming out. We just talked to them. So that robot looks so cool. I was really impressed with that one because it's simple and effective. That's the stuff I really love. 4946, the Alpha Dogs are back in 2020. Did you see the robot in 2020, Zoe?
I actually don't think I did.
They had such a powerful shot. They were just flinging those balls. So I'm wondering what they've taken from that shooter to this year's game, because this year's game isn't one that's super conducive to a hard shot. So I'm curious what they do if their laser beams get turned into moonshots, but I'm excited to see that. And then 3 teams who were semifinalists at Humber, looking to go even further this time around. 1374, 2198. 43-43 especially by the end of Humber, they were looking really good. And then this one, we got 4 rookie teams at this event. So that is a lot of new folks to first. So hey, veterans who are at that event, say hi to the rookies, chat them up, show them around, teach them what gracious professionalism, what first is all about. Also, 8574 is a second-year team, meaning they've never been to a competition either because their rookie season was last year. So it's really 5 rookies, and actually 8574 and any second-year team this year is eligible for rookie awards, so they could be a rookie all-star. They're rookies. They're rookies. So York is going to be exciting. I am a little bummed I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in Waterloo. You can't be in 2 places at once, so it's going to be interesting. Zoe, I'm sure you're feeling the same way, right?
Yeah, I actually I want to volunteer on day 2 of York because it's the Sunday and Waterloo is the Friday, Saturday, but I don't think I can. So that's.
Zoe, get some rest. This is a long haul. I'm sure you have a lot going on in school. Normally I go to York right after Waterloo, but this year I'm going to say I'm going to force myself to rest. I'm going to at least try. But if I watch a line selection and it's really lit, then maybe I'm just going to hop in an Uber and show up or something or anything like that. But hey, actually, I'm not going to show up unless I make sure that I'm on the list, because if you're not on a team attendance list or a volunteer list, you cannot be attending events this year. Just a reminder, please don't just show up randomly at events, even though I know it's so exciting, you want to. But that's why we have Twitch, right? Just watch on Twitch.
Yeah.
I know definitely at Waterloo, I'm going to have my phone and I'm going to have York on my phone. So I'm going to be keeping track of both just to see everything that's going on.
There will be updates on the TikTok account from both events. So if you're not able to attend either, you can always keep updated on that.
Follow the TikTok account. There's going to be good stuff. There's going to be water chants, Lulu. And Zoe, I think we need to do something dramatic in Waterloo. I think we need to do one of the big ones. I think there should be some Celine Dion going on. I think we can. It's all Absolutely. Coming back to me now. Can we do something? I think we can. So, hey, that's a wrap on the show. We were having so much fun here that I didn't realize it's time to end. So thanks to all our guests for coming on. This was great. We talked FLL Challenge. We talked a lot of FRC teams. We learned about Yeti. We learned about Sean Desmond dressing up as squirrels. Everything's happening here. Zoe, what was your favorite part of the show today?
Honestly, I don't know. I kind of liked watching the reveal videos because a lot of the stuff I do on my team isn't very technical, but I've kind of been able to help a bit with that side this year. So being able to see what other teams are doing as well is really cool, and kind of getting ideas for what we could do and what other teams are doing. And also just getting really excited for the events this weekend because they're going to be so cool.
It's going to be so much fun. A couple things in chat. Hey, shout out to Team 6859. Yeah, that's right. They're going to be there at York. And Thomas, any jump kicks at Lou? I mean, of course the jump kicks will be. It's Waterloo. This is almost where they were born. So it's homes. Waterloo, York this weekend is going to be so much fun. It's going to be a blast. Hey, everyone, thank you for joining us. Definitely want to tune in next week because we talked about the Waterloo and York events. We're going to be wrapping them up and we're going to be handing out all the awards. Find out if Zoe's pit interview today, right before the show, turned into an award. Fingers crossed for you there, friend.
Thank you. And good luck to all the teams who just had their pit interviews and all the teams competing this weekend. You guys are all going to do amazing.
Yes, and all the teams, because York has their second day pit interviews tomorrow. So it's all happening, folks. So good luck to everyone. Thank you so much for competing. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in soon, and we will see all of you out there in Robot Land. Bye, folks.
You